Hello, good evening. Welcome to another Facebook Live. This particular Facebook Live follows on from last night's where we discussed about narcissism, what a narcissist is, and recognizing the behaviors of a narcissist, as opposed to somebody who's just a bit flash or a bit clever or a bit full of themselves. We define a narcissist. So my name's Rick Cardwell. I'm a counsellor and a therapist, and I work with stress, depression, anxiety, and relationship specialist. But what I want to do for this Facebook Live is follow on from last night in ways to handle a narcissist. So that's difficult. Being with a narcissist is a tricky situation by the very nature of it. But last night we said that we need to accept something, and what we need to accept is that narcissists are all about themselves. Everything they do, all their behaviors, the way they speak, everything they do is designed for their own gain. They've got no concern for anyone else. They don't think about anybody else's feelings. They don't have the capacity to do that. So the function is to manipulate you until you lose your own identity, so that they can tell you what you should be, what they want you to be, and make you believe you are nothing without them. Your existence is nothing without them. Narcissists are constantly reminding you, either directly or indirectly, that they are in charge, because they have all the power and all the knowledge. So they're the best people to be in control. And these are the lies that they tell themselves, the lies that they believe, that are fixed in their mind, which drives their behaviors. So dealing with a narcissist, if you're in a narcissistic relationship, can take some resolve. It can take some determination. And you have to look through the situation and question your doubts, question what's going on for you. Now, if you're in a relationship with a narcissist and you're aware that they are a narcissist, then I want you to be aware that when you challenge some of their behaviors, which is three of the things that we're going to look at today, they are going to react negatively, either angrily or either way, not positive, but definitely angrily, and will turn on you in some way to try and get the control back. Now, if you're with a person who turns to violence, let's say physical violence, then you don't need to be with that person under any circumstances, and get out of the relationship today. You just leave, get out, sort it out. And if you stay there, then you should go to somebody to ask for help who can help you get out of that situation, because that situation will never be good. It will never benefit you, and that violence will never go away. And one of the things that I want you to bear in mind, okay, which is a fact of life, is a narcissist cannot control you until you hand over the willingness to be controlled, okay? So you're always in control of your life, but if you could give that control to somebody else. A narcissist's job is to control you, or to get you to that place where they are able to control you. But they can only control you if you willingly give up that control, okay? What they're trying to do, in effect, is make you into a mini version of them, because they think they're perfect. The world revolves around them. They think that the world owes them everything, and that's the way that they think and feel. So the first point that I want to make in dealing with a narcissist is narcissists will often speak in black and white terms. So what that means is the way that they word things is that you're either for me or you're against me. You're either on my team or you're not. There's no grey areas. You have to be all their way or nothing. And that's very much the narcissist way of saying, I've got complete control over you. I dominate, I rule, I am king, I am queen, and I will have complete control. So you're either on my side or you're not. that gives you very, very little options, really. You want to stay in the relationship, then you have to be all for them. And that's the way that they will control and manipulate you. And that's because the narcissists are very childlike in their behavior. They behave because they haven't reached the age of responsibility. And the behavior is just complete manipulation to help them get their own way and to fuel their ego and this absolute drive they have to possess everything and to control everything. And this tactic, it's fear-based. It's based in their fear. And it guides you to thinking that you have no way to think but the way that they think. And that's their agenda, to get them to think the way that you think and not to have a mind of your own to be able to make your own decisions. So how do we deal then with this manipulative form of language that they are using? Well, quite simply, don't conform. If they say to you something that's black and white, you're on my team or you're not, or you do everything my way or not at all, then the way to deal with a narcissist in this situation is to call it straight. Just say, look, I can see you thinking black or white ways, but I don't. And if you want to think like that, that's fine by me. But I'm the sort of person who wants to appreciate different points of view. I don't see things the way that you see things. Okay? Then wait for the shitstorm. Okay, so they'll then be thinking that you are not on their team. You're not playing the game like they want you and insist that you have to play it. So they're going to react. And point two is that once you've not conformed and you have spoken against the agenda, then what they will do then is demonize you. They will demonize you for daring to not fall in line with their way of thinking. And this will be in a form of blame or accusation. They will accuse you of stuff. They will blame you for things that you're not responsible for. But they'll try to convince you that there is something wrong with you for having an opinion, that there's something wrong with you for not thinking exactly like they do. And they'll say things like, oh, this is typical of you, always causing trouble for no reason. Look at all the things you've done in the past. You've no idea that your behavior causes all the problems. And remember yesterday we talked about data collection. Narcissists will be interested and curious about you because they want to know about you so they can gather data to throw back at you later to destroy you because of your failings, because of your faults, because of the things that you've done wrong. And this is one of the times that they'll do that, when you're not conforming exactly to what they want from you. So the way to deal with that, again, is to stay calm and not to conform. Say something along the lines of, well, okay, you're entitled to your opinion, and that's fine. And I appreciate that you have got your opinion, but I don't see myself like that, and neither do other people. You may see me as this terrible person that causes all the problems, but I don't need you to define who I am. I can do that for myself. Well, that won't go down well. And they'll keep coming back at you to tell you why you're that terrible person. And they'll keep trying to destroy you and blame you and give you all the reasons why you're wrong, trying to get that control and trying to get that power back. Just repeat that you understand how they feel, but it isn't the way that you feel or think, and that you think differently. Okay, that will cause a problem for you because they'll become extremely agitated by the fact that they can't have that control over you and they don't feel that they've got that control. So point three is when a narcissist doesn't get the response that they want from you, or for anybody else for that matter, meaning they don't have a full sense of control over you, they'll go to a second tactic. And this involves what we call rallying around their flying monkeys. You remember in The Wizard of Oz with the flying monkeys that were the subservience of the Wicked Witch? Well, These flying monkeys are the people who the narcissist goes to when they want to criticize you or somebody that hasn't come under their control. And these flying monkeys are the head nodders, the agreeers, they will just nod and agree to everything the narcissist says. And that they will agree how terrible you are and how unreasonable you are. And what that does is that refuels the narcissist's ego to reinforce this overbearing desire he has to be right all of the time. Well, for you, you don't have to conform. You don't have to be a flying monkey. You don't have to nod your head and agree with what they're spewing out. If those people want to agree with the lies that they're telling about you or telling about other people, then are those people really worth worrying about? Well, absolutely not. Just let them go. But don't be a flying monkey yourself. Don't allow yourself to be just a head nodder, a flying monkey that just agrees with everything. Have your own opinion and say what you think. So the reaction of the narcissist when he comes across this disagreement to his ego is there's a few things that they will do, and the reaction is it's like a shock reaction in that their mindset is, how dare you reject me? How dare you stand up against me? Who do you think you are? Don't you know who I am? And that's based really in fear and anger, because they feel hurt and they feel that you are not going to supply them with their fix, with their needs to feed their problem of narcissism, of control. And that's a real concern for them. They don't get that fix anymore. So they'll become angry, and that is fear-based. And they feel that you are attempting to damage them. That's the fear part. And they'll react to that fear. They'll go into a self-protective mode, and they'll try and rationalize and tell you why they are cleverer than you, and why they are smarter than you, and why you can't make the right decisions because you're not capable of. But they can, because they are better than you, bigger than you, and they know a lot more than you. This will then result in ridiculing you, taunting you, and really heavy criticism. They'll bring up the past. They'll talk about things that you failed in. They'll throw that at you, and they'll try and make you feel worthless and valueless, so that they can tear you down to get that control of that authority back. They really can't deal with a situation like that at all. And they will have no thought of listening to you, to what you have to say, or even considering that you may have any emotions, that you have any feelings about this, or that you have any emotions or feelings that have any value whatsoever. That'll be completely neglected and pushed to one side. Won't be a thought for a narcissist to consider your thoughts or feelings, or to even consider you at all. Once you've upset a narcissist by being honest and not fueling their narcissism, they can have this really strange behavior of turning off any kind of connection that you may have had. They can instantly do that, and you can become an object of their hate in an instant. They can go from what you thought was a caring person for you, then they can hate you instantly, and anything that you ever thought of any affection is completely destroyed by the way that they hate you. And the chances are that, if the relationship falls apart, then they could stalk you. There's a real confusion of behavior with narcissists, that they absolutely hate you and they wish you all the bad things in the world, but then they'll have this strange behavior of stalking you. And they're really curious about, they have this overbearing curiosity about what you're doing and what's going on in your life. And it's very mixed emotional behavior from these people, because they're very confused about not having control, but they still want to get that control back. They still want to dominate your life. Remember that narcissists don't know how to take responsibility for their own lives. They don't know how to move forward in a healthy way. And they don't know how to learn from the mistakes, and not learning from the mistakes and not being able to understand what they've done wrong means that they don't create any change for themselves. They're stuck in the ways because they think they're perfect. So why would they want to learn from the mistakes and move forward when they're already perfect? Which means this keeps them stuck in this terrible behavior of narcissism. They won't create any emotion for you or for the way that you are. They'll just invest all that into their own needs, their own wants and desires for the future. So when it comes to handling a narcissist and their behavior, the important thing is that you don't focus on what you think you might be able to say or change within the situation, because you can't say anything that's to any advantage that the narcissist will agree with unless it's his agenda. And you can't change the situation because the narcissist will not change. He has to have his own way. He's not going to behave in a way that is reasonable, that suits you, ever. He will never do that. It is not part of how he can work or function. So you need to look internally at yourself, and you need to ask yourself, why am I moving away from this person and his behaviors? And the reason why you're moving away from that person and from his behaviors is very, very simple. That you recognize that a life with a person, with a woman or a man who behaves this way, who just completely wants to destroy, to dominate and control you, is wrong. Your answer should be that you deserve a good life. You deserve so much more than anything a narcissist can ever offer you. You deserve to live without control, and you need a life without misery and destruction, because a narcissist will only ever want to destroy you and your relationships, your family and your friends. They cannot think any way at all. So have a think about how you're going to deal with narcissistic behavior. Find that in yourself, that courage, that resolution to just challenge it and to stand by your guns. As I said, if there's violence involved, get out, dump them immediately, get away. If there's passive aggressive, that's more likely that they're going to go away and talk about you, ridicule you, taunt you, use heavy criticism. Just stand by your guns. Do not agree with what they say and allow them to go about their behaviors. And then you'll begin to see what they're really like. And that's important for you to sort your life out, to get out of these relationships, because you either have to resign to the fact that you'll always live being controlled and governed and manipulated, or resign yourself to the fact that you can move forward and learn from that lesson and never have to go back there again. So I hope that's helpful. I hope it's given you an insight into narcissists and the way that they behave. It's well documented, these behaviors. There's no surprises there for those of you that have been in a relationship with a narcissist. It's a terrible, frustrating and degenerating experience, very belittling. So if you're in a relationship like that, have a think about it. What are you going to do for the future? Challenge the behaviors. If you want professional help, you know where I am. I'm on Facebook. You can click on the banner, book a 45-minute discussion. We can talk about your issues and see if we can move forward with it. But don't resign yourself to a narcissistic life. It's just a terrible destruction, a waste of your time. Think about yourself, your family, your friends, your kids, your relationships, all those things that have been destroyed, and find a way to get those things right, get them back on track, to be able to give yourself a life what you deserve without the destruction and the control. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you again on another Facebook Live. You know where to contact me. You can private message me on Facebook, stick some comments on here, whatever suits you, and I'll be back with you tomorrow, hopefully, with another Facebook Live. So until then, keep smiling. Chat soon.